When you measure results, you stay emotional. Win, and you feel invincible. Lose, and you feel incompetent. Your self-worth swings with your P&L. That volatility destroys consistency. When you measure process, you build stability. You did or didn't follow your plan. The market's response doesn't determine success. Your execution does. Process is what you control. Outcome is what the market decides. Here's the problem with measuring P&L. Good execution can produce bad results. You follow your plan perfectly and lose. That's trading. The outcome was negative, but the process was perfect. If you measure by P&L, you call that a failure. Next time you hesitate on the same setup, you just penalized yourself for doing everything right. The flip side is worse. Bad execution can produce good results. You break your rules, size up, chase a setup, and win. If you measure by P&L, you call that success. Your brain learns the wrong lesson. Breaking rules worked. You'll do it again. That's how measuring results reinforces bad habits. You're training yourself to repeat behavior that will eventually blow up your account. Process-based measurement looks like this. After every trade, ask one question. Did I follow my plan? Not did I make money? Did I execute correctly? You had a setup, proper position size, managed according to your rules, exited where planned. That's a successful trade, even if you lost money. Because you can't control whether this trade wins. You can only control execution. And over time, correct execution produces positive expectancy. Score your trades with a process checklist. 5 questions. Did I wait for my setup? Size correctly? Enter where planned? Manage according to rules? Exit where planned? Yes to all 5 equals perfect execution. 5 out of 5. Doesn't matter if you made or lost money. You executed perfectly. That's what you track. Track this over time. This week, 10 trades. Perfect execution on 7. That's 70% execution quality. Last week, 50%. That's progress. You're getting more consistent. That's what improves. Not your win rate. Your ability to execute your plan. If you execute consistently and your plan has positive expectancy, profits follow. But profits are a byproduct of execution, not the goal. When it breaks down, perfect setup, perfect entry, perfect size, then price moves against you. You panic. Exit before your stop. Trade reverses and would have won. You lost money and broke your process. Failed trade on both counts. If you're only measuring P&L, you think the problem was the setup. Wrong. You didn't follow your exit rule. Process measurement shows you exactly where you broke down. The opposite. Trade that's not your setup. Size too big. Chase the entry. But it runs, and you make money. Measuring P&L, you feel good. Wrong. That was a terrible trade that happened to work. If you don't recognize it as a process failure, you'll do it again. Next time, it might not work. Process measurement protects you from learning wrong lessons from lucky wins. Professionals measure process because they understand variance. Any single trade can go either way. Good execution loses sometimes. Bad execution wins sometimes. That's noise. Over 100 trades, noise averages out. What remains is your edge. But your edge only shows up if you execute consistently. If you're constantly changing based on recent results, you never know if your edge is real. You're reacting to noise. Process measurement keeps you consistent through the noise. What do you actually track? Execution quality, risk management, emotional state, setup quality, exit discipline. These are the inputs. Your P&L is the output. You can't control the output, only the inputs. So measure the inputs, improve the inputs, The output takes care of itself. Here's the shift. Stop asking, did I make money today? Start asking, did I execute my plan today? Stop celebrating wins and beating yourself up over losses. Start celebrating perfect execution and analyzing where your process broke down. The emotional attachment shifts from outcome to process. That shift creates long-term consistency. You're no longer at the mercy of daily variance. You're building the skill of execution. And that skill compounds. Measure your process, not your P&L, because your process is what you control. Your P&L is what the market gives you, and the market doesn't care about your emotions. It only responds to your execution. Execute well consistently, and over time, the market rewards that. But you have to measure what matters, and what matters is process.